This is Laura Duncan from CSMS. Today we'll be discussing slope as a rate of change. Remember, Slope is a wily character. He changes his names as if he's on the lam. What did you do, Slope? In number 1, we're given a table of input and output values. How do we find the constant rate of change? Well, it's the change in y over change in x. Let's go back to the table of values to discuss what this means. So we have our x and our f of x. This would be our x values and our y. When we're finding the change in y, we are finding the difference between the two values. So we have a difference of 2 here, a difference of 3 here, and a difference of 3 here. Go to the x values. The x values, this difference is 6, 9, and 9. Now, we said this was a constant rate of change. So as we do this, the change in y values for these two terms would be 2. The change in x would be 6. That would simplify to 1/3. Now let me show you, if we use this and this, 3 over 9, that would also simplify to 1/3. So the rate of change is constant. To find the rule or the equation, this is an equation of a line. So you're going to use the format y equals mx plus b. We encourage you to use the stat function in your calculator. If you need more help with that function, please refer to the other video about using the stat function to find the equation of a line. In the past, we've used y equals mx plus b to write the equation of the line. However, this time we're going to write this in function notation. Instead of y, we will write f of x, which means that y is a function of x, equals mx plus b. Once we find our slope and our y-intercept, then we can write the equation of the line. We'll start with f of x. Our slope, or m, was 1/3. We'll replace the m, or slope, with 1/3. And then the rest of the equation as follows. Our next task is to find f of -3. Remember, when we're writing in function notation, inside the parentheses is the x. So what it's saying is that x is equal to -3. And what they're asking us to find is f of x, which is the y. To find f of -3, we will go back to our equation. Since we know x is equal to -3, we will replace the x with -3 and solve for y. So f of -3 is equal to 1/3 times -3, which is -1 plus 2. So f of -3 is equal to 1. To reiterate, when the x is -3, the y value is equal to 1. Some people like to look at it like this: f of x is equal to y. So the x is inside the parentheses. So when they're asking us this, x equals -6, they're asking, what's the y? Go back to the equation. We know that we're looking for the value of y when x is equal to -6. So substitute -6 into your equation, and then we simplify. So f of -6 is equal to 0. That means y equals 0 when x is -6. This is also known as the x-intercept. Let's discuss another way to find f of -3 and f of -6 rather than substituting it into the equation. You will go to the y equals button on your calculator and enter in y equals 1/3 x plus 2. If you want to see a table of values, you'll push second graph and it will give you a table of values. You can scroll down to where x is -3 and it will display the y value. For number 2, our constant rate of change is also known as the slope, m, or in your calculator it's known as an a, and you will find that it is -5. Please pause the video here and use the stat function in your calculator to find the linear regression or equation of the line. Check your equation. I didn't write it in function notation, and that's okay in this case because it only asks for the rule or equation. So let's turn our attention to finding f of -1. Remember, if it's written in function notation, that the x is equal to -1. And what they're asking for is, if x equals -1, what does the y equal? We'll go back to our equation, substitute x equals -1 into your equation, and then simplify. And we find that our y value is equal to 2. Pause the video here and find f of 4 by yourself. Check your work and make sure you have the correct answer. Number 3, we have a slight change. The table is incomplete, and there's a couple of ways that we can deal with that. One of the ways is that we can begin with the constant rate of change or the slope and then fill in the table. By looking at the table or using your stat function on your calculator, you can see the rate of change is -2. Since we know the slope or the rate of change is the change in y over the change in x, that means we can use that pattern to help us fill in the remainder of the table. Let's discuss another way to help us fill in the rest of the table. So use your stat function at this time to find out the rule or the equation. Now that you have the rule or equation, you can use your x values and substitute them into your equation to solve for the y values. So once you've substituted it in, it's easy to simplify and solve. Please pause the video at this time and try number 4 on your own. Now please check your work for number 4, making sure that you have already filled in the table. Let's discuss some more information about slope. Slope is the ratio of the vertical change compared to the horizontal change. This is the algebraic word for constant rate of change. It can also be described as steepness. Now we've been using delta y over delta x, which means change in y over change in x, but we want to discuss how to use a formula to find the slope. The formula for finding slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's also known as the rise over the run, which is another word for slope. There are 4 types of slope. There's a positive slope, someone going up the mountain. Now remember, you're reading the graph from left to right. There's a negative slope, as if you're going down the mountain. There's zero slope. And finally, there is no slope, which we often say is undefined slope. There are many ways to help you remember these types of slope. Introducing Mr. Vuxhoy. This is Mr. Vuxhoy. His left eyebrow has a positive slope. His right eyebrow has a negative slope. For his nose, that has an undefined slope. And for his mouth, that has a 0 slope. Let's talk about these words Vux and Hoy. These will not be the answer to any question, but they will help you to remember about your 0 slope and your undefined slope. The acronym VUX help us to remember that a vertical line has an undefined slope and it will be an x-equal equation. The acronym HOY implies that it's a horizontal line with 0 slope and it will be a y-equal equation. Now we'll turn our attention to finding the slope of the line using a graph. Let's look at number 1. We're finding the slope of the line that goes through the points C and D. First, I want you to know that it is a negative slope. So in our answer, I want you to remember that it's a negative slope. To find the slope, we're going to use the fact that slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x, or the rise over the run. To find the rise over the run, we're simply going to count. We'll count the change in y value, or the vertical change, compared to the horizontal change. So start at 1 point and count 1, 2, 3. This rises up 3. So our rise will be 3, and our run will be 1, 2, 3. So do you see how it goes to the left? When we go to the left, that would be a negative. So this is 3 over negative 3, which would simplify to negative 1. Let's note that on the answer. Now let's find the slope of the line going through points B, C. So notice that this is a positive slope. Now let's go back and find the rise over the run. So starting at 1 point, it doesn't matter which one. I'll start at this point. We're going to count 1, 2, 3. Notice that we went down, so that would be negative 3. Now from here, I'm going to count to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since I went to the left, it's also negative. So I have negative 3 over negative 6. That would simplify to 1/2. Please note that on your chart. Now let's look at the slope of the line going through points E and F. For number 3, we can look at this line, but it is a special case. The reason that it's special is because it's a vertical line. And when you see a vertical line, I want you to think the word vux. So in this special case, you have a vertical line, then it has an undefined slope. Let's move on to number 4, where we have the slope of the line between the points A and E, or the slope of the line that goes through the points A and E, I should say. So when we're counting, we'll do rise over run. So we count up or down, whichever way you like, but I went up, so that's positive. And I'm going to count to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So since I went to the right, that is positive. So we have a rise of 1 and a run of 12. Now let's go back, and I want you to look at the slopes and then look at the lines that would go between these points. Which one has the steepest slope? Which one has the least steep slope? If you look at these, the slope is not dependent on whether it's negative or positive. That does not describe the steepness. The steepness can be seen by looking at the greater absolute value. The line going through C and D is much steeper than the line going through A and E. And you can see that it is a -1. So look for the greatest absolute value, and that will lead you to your steepest slope. Now let's look at the slope of the line going through points B and D. I hope you can see that this is a horizontal line. Remember that we have a special word for this special case. It's HOI. If it's a horizontal line, it will have a slope of 0. Please do number 6 on your own. Pause the video here. For number 6, you should have recognized that it is a negative slope. However, many people get confused because when we have a negative slope, you can associate the negative with the numerator, you can associate the negative with the denominator, or like I have in the answer blank, have it neither the numerator nor the denominator, just out in front. So all of these now are the correct way of writing this. None of these would be incorrect. What would be incorrect is if you had something like this. That would simplify to a positive. So don't do that. The lesson is yours.